Hello and welcome to Coffee Chat with Jody Myciak. I am so excited for you to be here today. We have a fun-filled pack of so much amazing tips and tricks that I've learned over the years about self-care. And there's so many more. So I'd love to hear your favorite self-care um, thing that you like to do. So if you're listening to this later, please comment. I'd love to hear what it is. So if you haven't already, go grab your coffee or your tea or your favorite beverage and let's chat. So with the holidays, like they're in full swing now. They are absolutely in full swing. People are going to Christmas parties or different holiday parties. Maybe you're already done all your shopping. I know we've decorated our house, so things are busy. And if you like to bake and do things or crafting, there's a lot going on. So, how do you take care of you this holiday season? Because the thing is, it's really important to take care of you this holiday season. I've said it before, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of you first. Because if you don't take care of you through this busy time, you'll find yourself even burnt out at Christmas, over the holidays. Maybe you just have a complete meltdown. Somebody just triggers you. You're just not at your best. You're worn out and exhausted. Or you get through the holidays in one piece. You're all jolly and happy and awesome. Things are good. And then the holidays are over and you're left with this feeling of just either dread going back to work or just starting going back to the normal swing. The magic of the holidays is over. You're just really out of touch and or you're just really over exhausted, burnt out, and just really done because you haven't taken time for you. So today I'm going to give you some really fun things to do. Well, maybe not. Well, you know what? Make everything fun. That's what it is. It may sound like work, but do it with fun behind it. Because when we don't, and it becomes a challenge or a work, something we have to work for, and then it loses the self-care factor. So I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the number one thing is schedule it in. It's it's knowing when or roughly when. So, for example, if you have little ones at home still, it's like maybe when your child goes down for a nap or once they go to bed. It might not be an exact time, but it will be an approximate time. And I'll give some examples. But it's about scheduling it in, knowing when it's going to happen. So for me, is sit the I personally sit down Sunday nights, usually, unless things come up, but usually it's Sunday night. Sometimes I have it planned before then. But usually Sunday night, I kind of reflect on what I'd like the next week to look like. Business wise, around the house, so things I want to get done. Like, for instance, this week we're really on clean mode here because we're having our family over on Sunday. So it's really just our house. Clean mode has not been on the top of our list for a while. So it's really just giving our house a little bit of a facelift this week. And that was my focus in between a couple days of work. And so I sit down on the Sunday and I make goals. Usually it's about 3 goals in the week. What do I want to get done? And sometimes it's 3 business goals and sometimes it's 3 family goals. Lately it's a lot of business. But sometimes there's family. So anyway, so there's goals. And you have 3 goals in each one. If you work from home, your job, if you leave the house, is actually can be a different you don't even have to have it on there. You can schedule it. It really depends on where you're at. But when you work from home or you're an entrepreneur, it's I personally think it's good to know what both schedules look like. So you look at what you want to do for the week. Do you need help first of all? My husband's awesome. He's always like, what do I need to help you with this week? He checks in with me. Now, if we have way too much to do, we either say, look, we can't do this or this week, or we get help. So it's looking for those things. So I sit down again, and what I do is I actually put a line in my divider or in my planner, and one side is for work and one is for home. Uh, but it's knowing what your week looks like. Now, the other important factor, the factor that I missed this week, but I normally do, is I have working out on my week too, but I never specified when I was going to do it. So it hasn't been happening. When you know, it's like, okay, when the kids go to bed, I'll work out. Boom, it's done. Like, it's just, they go to bed, I go work out. There's no guesswork. Like, oh, maybe I should now, or maybe I shouldn't. It's really getting clear on when you're going to do this. And again, it might not be a time. It might be just an event, like a nap. The kids go to bed, depending on if it fluctuates a little bit. Maybe it's routine, and then you kind of do know time. So schedule, schedule, schedule. This next little tidbit might not work right now, and it might, but I would pocket this away for the new year. It is scheduling your things like dentist, hair, anything you have outside of the house when you're there. So for example, you just go to the dentist and before you leave, you pay. Before you leave, you set up the next one. I book mine every 6 months. Same with hair. I book mine every 8 weeks. I just book it right when I'm there. Now there's many reasons for this. One, I don't have to think about it again. After I get home, I write it down because I'm old school and I still use a hand day timer is everything. Anyways, so I write it down and I forget about it. It's there so in 8 weeks, I'll see it. I'm like, okay. And I plan for it accordingly that week. I don't have to think about, oh man, I have to put it on my to-do list. I have to call and book my hair appointment or do this or that. It's no longer taking up space in my memory or on my to-do list. And it's really amazing. Now I give you time frames of 6 months and 8 weeks. The thing is, you get to decide what works for you. Your pocketbook, your schedule, and how often you want to get it done. For me, 8-week mark is really good. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is I never used to be the person that scheduled ahead. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 8 weeks or 6 months. That sounds like a huge commitment, right? You're like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Half the time before I was like, I didn't even know what kind of job I'd be in, or right now is what are my kids going to be like? What are the schedules going to be like? But fun thing is you get to cancel or reschedule when it gets closer if it doesn't work out. Now, I've been doing this for over a year now. My hair probably slightly less. I decided I wasn't going enough. I'd actually forget. It wasn't that I didn't want to get my hair cut or that I didn't have the time. I just forgot. Another great reason to schedule it in when you're there. And it's really just doing it. And so I was the person that I never ever booked it ahead of time. Like I said, I had no idea where I'd be, where are my kids' nap schedules. But in that whole time that I've been doing this, the dentist has been at least a few years now. In that whole time, the only thing I ever canceled or rescheduled, because it's never canceling, is rescheduling, was my haircut appointment 2 weeks ago, I think. It fell on something that happened at my kid's school, at my daughter's school, and I really wanted to be there. So I rescheduled this actually today. So in the whole time that I've done this, sometimes when it comes up, I'm like, oh, do I really want to go to the dentist this week? And I'm like, well, and then eventually I procrastinate and I don't call and cancel. And then I just go and I'm like, well, thank goodness I got that done. I don't have to worry about it again. So, and I love going. It's just sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to, add things to my week. That putting on, like automating your appointments. So mine, the one that I like to do is eye, but I only go every 2 years. So I don't know if they have a calendar long enough for that. But it's just everything that you like to do. If you like to get manicures or pedicures, it's figuring out how often would you like that to happen. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to a spa to get a pedicure. It can even be having some simple things happen at home. And that brings it into my next point. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, mommies. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have, self-care doesn't mean having to go to the spa. I do include the self-care of teeth and hair. And you can even cut your own hair, have a friend. That's cool too. It's just teeth and things kind of get forgotten about, and it is very huge on the self-care spectrum as well. And I used to, fun story about the hair one more time. I actually would, I take forever to go, or I would never go to the dentist. And I would forget, or just like, oh, yeah, mostly it was forgetting. Because at that time I actually had a plan and everything was paid for, so it wasn't a big deal. So it was more forgetting about it. It was something I just slid, because growing up we didn't really go as often. It's kind of something my mom didn't really like, was the dentist. So it wasn't something that we look forward to. And now I look forward to it because afterwards my teeth are all clean. And same with my hair. I actually thought it wasn't funny when I'd show up. I was like, yeah, I haven't been to see you in like 2 years. I thought it was fun. And now I'm like, you know what? My hair, myself, all need that self-love and that self-care. So it's really looking at taking care of you on a different level if you're at that space where you don't think it's important, because you are important. So it doesn't have to cost a lot. The dentist is a different matter. If you don't have a plan, I get it, because neither do I. We just plan for it. That's all. So anyways, other than those things that you may need somebody, is keep it simple. So it's, doing a little pedicure or manicure or both, or watching a movie at home, or just doing a little bit. It can be a bath. And why I say keep it simple, you don't actually, let me back up 2 seconds actually. When I say keep it simple, it really is, you don't have to do a new self-care event every day. It could be simple. It could be having a nap. It's really listening to your body, your mind, and your soul. What's going to light you up? Things that I say I do for self-care might not light you up. It might just be picking a book for the week and be like, okay, for the 10 minutes before we're into bed, or right after the kids go to bed, read it for 10, 15 minutes, half an hour. It could be that simple. For me, I've mentioned before that I've incorporated working out again. I used to work out a lot, and then I didn't because I needed sleep, and then it's been really waffling. But I'm really working on putting that into my schedule, or into my routine in my day again, because my body needs it. It needs stretching, and it needs to have movement. So it can be really easy to stop moving when we're tired, and that's where I'm at. So it's just listening to your body, your mind, and your soul. What lights you up? Do that. It doesn't have to be complicated. And yeah, just know what time slot on your schedule it's for you. You don't have to do every day. You don't have to say what it is. You could be like, what do I need today? It could be that simple. It could be journaling at the end of the day. Just sitting quietly and reflecting on your day. What are you grateful for? And you could actually keep the same thing every day about, reflecting on your day, journaling, meditating. And this could all happen in 15 minutes. Journaling may take longer depending on your day and what opens up for you. But there's short meditations out there and reflection on things. So really just slowing down is a really amazing thing as well. So keep it simple. And then plan ahead. This is a big, big one for this time of year. It's already started, so you might already have made quite a few commitments. But it's sitting down and thinking about, what do you want to do with your time this holiday season? How many parties do you want to say yes to? And then cap it off and commit to it. So if you have a partner, a husband, somebody that you go to these parties with, is having a conversation with the other person and really getting clear on how busy you want your holiday season to look like. How many functions do you have as a family? I know with us, we celebrate my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family, our initial family. So it's just my siblings, my parents, and because that's what we used to do before we had families. So, and now we have families. So it's another one on top of that, and significant others. So we have the. I might have just cut out for a second. I think my internet might be a little wonky again today. So please be with me. If it goes out, I will be back, hopefully. Yeah, so it's really looking at how many even family engagements you have, how many functions. Maybe you can move it, or I know there's families that have large gatherings and they move it earlier in December or into January. That's what retail does. We don't have time to have parties in December. People are shopping. When I was in retail, we'd have parties in January when it was slower. So it's really looking at what can be shifted. How much do you want to put on your plate? For us, we only have one Christmas party. Well, we only were invited to one Christmas party this year. I'm my own person. I'm hoping to have a team this coming year. So we don't have any, and my husband's a contractor, but they actually have a party, but it lands this Friday, the Friday that we're preparing, and we've decided not to have anything on that day because we're getting ready for the weekend. So we said no. It's not putting more on your plate than you want to handle. Is it going to stress you out or are you going to have fun? We'd love to go, but it's actually at our kids' nap or bedtime too. So there's so many fun features, and I think the kids are actually invited. So don't know all the details, but we decided not to add more to our plate this week. We decided that this was going to be like full on, get things ready, so we can actually enjoy the parties over the weekend. Because we're doing a kid party for my daughter at a gymnastics place. And then our family's over on Sunday. So we want to be really fully present for both those parties. And we don't want to be stressed out before. So it's really it's up to you. You can have a high number if that's what you feel comfortable with. For us, we really look at it and it's like, is this going to stress us out? Or is this going to light us up? Also with traveling, my in-laws live further away. And we're thinking about moving it to the Ukrainian Christmas, which is January 7th. So around that time, just to kind of break up our Christmas. Same with my side of the family, our gathering with my siblings and my parents will probably it takes place the weekend after Christmas. So it's really figuring out what works. And obviously, when you're working with other people, it's having those conversations with them and be like, look, maybe we can do something different. I've actually said before that I love to mingle both my dad's side and my mom's side. So this is both like grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and things like that. So we have less gatherings, but no one has thought that was a good idea yet. So I'm on my own on that one. But it's really deciding what works best for you and commit to it. And remember, it is okay to say no. Say thank you so much, but I already have too much planned. Or you could just find a nice way to say it. Like, I'm really sorry, but I have too much going on that week. It is okay to say no. I used to say yes to everything, and I had no room to breathe. Then I'd be exhausted and frustrated and angry and blow up at people. So saying no is okay. You don't have to be mean about it though either. You just be nice and gentle with it. I'm sorry. Just remember, you can say no. That's a big self-care factor right there. Saying no. And then saying yes to the things that light you up. Because a lot of us have always been taught to be proper, to to do the things that people have told us to do. And then we watch people growing up and they don't take care of themselves. A lot of grandmas, always put themselves last and, did everything else first. But that doesn't have to be the way anymore. So it's really looking at where you're at, what you want, and saying no and saying yes to the things that light you up. Okay, so the other one is I've kind of mentioned it a little bit before with the pedicures, the manicure. How about thinking about giving yourself or having a date night with yourself once a week? If it can't be once a week, I recommend at least once a month. So for me, right now, I'm pretty much just focused on it's almost like micro bursts of self-care. But coming into the new year again, I really want to focus on I think it was every Tuesday, and as long as it works with my husband, every Tuesday night would be date night with myself. So if you have a partner, something that you need to, your team is talking with them and see what works for them as well. Because you don't want to be all, like, it's not, self-care is not selfish, but sometimes we have a team and we need to make sure that what we're doing works with them as well. So for instance, once the kids go to bed, I forget about cleaning. I forget about anything that happens around the house. I just relax. So it might be like hop in the shower first and then watch a movie, paint my nails, read a book, but it's for me. Now, if you do have a spouse, the reverse is really nice to do too, is have them have a different night. Like, so if you really can't have the kitchen, if you can't go to bed with the kitchen messy, it's asking your partner to clean up the kitchen while you have date night, and then return the favor another night. Say, look, you have a free night where when the kids go to bed, you get to do whatever you want. Maybe it's play video games or watch their own movie or go out with a friend. It's whatever works for them and you. And it's really just having that balance. Because the other one that I do, and this is really good for my soul, is connecting with my husband. So every Friday night we have date night. And it might just be because at the end of the week we're exhausted. It might just be watching a TV show. But I always tell him, like, we're not doing chores Friday night. All this stuff can be taken care of on Saturday. Because we can get that habit of, doing dishes and doing laundry, and then all of a sudden it's super late and then you just want to go to bed. So it's really just kids go to bed, we hang out. And the other thing I wanted to mention is when I was saying whatever lights up your soul, one of the things I discovered, and I've mentioned this before, so if you're hearing it for the second time, bear with me. Some people might be hearing this for the first time, is I was always doing self-care. I really try my best to make that into my everyday. If it's a nap I need, or I was, just doing mud masks on my face, or just different little things throughout my week. And then I realized that what I needed most was interaction with adults. So I actually went on a date outside of the house with my husband. I hung out with friends and my sister. And it's really, sometimes self-care means going out with the friends. It doesn't always mean that you have to be isolated. It's doing whatever lights up your soul, your mind, opens your mind, and what your body might need. It's just as much as just focusing on eating healthy, clean foods. It could be that simple. So it doesn't have to be about isolation, self-care. Like, for instance, tonight, I'm going out. It's my sister. I have two sisters. So one of my sister's birthdays is this Saturday. So I'm taking her out for a surprise tonight. Yeah, she's not on here, so she probably won't hear this. Yeah. So a paint night where you get a couple drinks, it has some appetizers, and you paint. And yeah, just get out and do something different. I've never done it. I've seen a lot of people do it, and it looks fun. And let's hope that she likes the surprise, and it'll be good times. So it's just, yeah, do what lights you up. It's that simple. And if you have a problem figuring out what lights you up, is pay attention to when you're happy. And maybe it takes some time journaling and reflecting. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe start with, if you don't know where to start, is find a 5 minute, 5-10 minute meditation and start just reflecting, like, what would I like to do for me? And just have that thought before you meditate. There's a lot of different meditations you can even go to YouTube. There's a lot online. Maybe someday I'll create my own because I have some really good ones. It's just haven't had the chance to get them recorded. So it's just take some time, just reflect on what you want, what lights you up. And let's see. I'm just having a thinking. Okay. So the last little tidbit I'd like to share is a big one. We can really fall through the cracks on self-care if we don't hold ourselves accountable or we don't have other people holding ourselves accountable for many things, right? Like sometimes you go to the gym and you might have a workout buddy, or even eating. If your husband eats horribly and you're trying to eat healthy, in your house you have two different kinds of foods and it really can be hard. So it's getting everybody in your life on board with this. So it's having a support team. And you can have multiple support teams. So for me, on a daily basis, it's my husband. And I've mentioned before where he'll actually come up to me and say, and it actually happens every day usually, where he's like, how can I help you? He's a sweetheart. A lot of the time, if I know he has too much on his plate, I'll tell him that it's okay. He needs to, I know when he has too much on his plate. And then there's others where I think, okay, if you have a spare moment, I'd love you to help me with this. And as going back and forth, I helped him last night. So it's really having a conversation with the people in your life, letting them know the day that you've decided to have a date night, or when you want to do self-care. If it's just letting the people or persons in your life know when you plan on doing it, just so they're not surprised that you're not available. So just having conversations, it's communication. And support is really important. So that is why I'm doing the 12 days of self-love, and it starts next Monday. I can't believe it's actually only a few days away. So I'm really excited about this, and it's happening here in the Self-Love Club, where we get to hold each other accountable. I'm going to be right along with you. I'm going to be sharing daily things with you, daily mantras that you can be saying to yourself to kind of ease that negative self-talk and change it to love talk and self-love talk. And where we can just talk. Like maybe you're having a hard time one day fitting self-care in, or you're really beating yourself up, giving yourself negative talk. And we can be there for one another. Life happens, and we can plan, and sometimes we have to go away from the plan. And that's what support's for. We're really there to help each other out. And it will be a lot of fun. And I'm going to try and come live on weekdays in here in just a couple minutes, just kind of share, hopefully motivate, and send you loving vibes, and really just connect with you daily. And hopefully share what I've planned for the day as well. Because there are days where I do have a hard time fitting self-care, especially this week. This week is, my husband even said, maybe you should cancel your hair appointment this week. I'm like, I've already moved it once, and it's like, I'd really like to get it done. And that's what happens in our life. We find that we're too busy, and what do we cancel first? The things that light us up. I love getting my hair done. I love getting it washed and cut, and it feels good. So why would I cancel it in the busy of the week? It's maybe lowering my expectations in other areas. So maybe I don't spend as much time cleaning the house. Um, and it's just figuring out what needs to be done or how else it can be done. Just don't cut yourself out of that equation. So that support system's there. And I would love you to join us. You're going to see me in it anyways if you're in the Self-Love Club, but if you're watching this video where I share it on our page, come join us in the Self-Love Club. It's going to be so much fun. And if you've noticed, I'm not calling the Self-Love Club or the 12 Days of Self-Love a challenge. I personally feel that we have enough challenges in our life right now. You know, maybe working on a budget for gifts or trying to get all the family functions lined up properly, or just there's just so much going on. I don't want to have it be a challenge, something that you feel like if you don't do it, you're going to fail. I want it to be more of a fun thing, a support that you can go to. It doesn't take long. It's not a huge commitment. You could watch my video. You don't have to. I'm going to share little posts in the morning to kind of get you started for the day, and just kind of tag in here and there, or just kind of jump in here and there and message or post things that I've been doing. And I would love to hear your tips that you've had, or something that you're like, oh, you know, this worked for me, or this is lighting me up and I didn't realize it would, or just, it's really just being accountable for each other. And I actually have something really fun that I'll be done Monday that I'm going to give away to you in the Self-Love Club. It's just this fun little tool that you can use over the 12 days. And it really is, it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll find it Monday, probably show up by the afternoon, because I have to actually download it into it. I can't schedule it until land into the newsfeed without me. So I'll probably download it probably by the time the sun goes down for right now on Monday. And look in it for in the files. You'll see it, hopefully. If you don't see it Monday, please let me know and I will direct you to where it is. And I don't want to say too much because I'm really excited about this, but just know it's going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to sharing this with you. And yeah, if you have any questions about self-care, self-love, or if you have your own tips or tricks that you discovered, I would love to hear them. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care. Make time for you. Bye for now.